I'm returning to the topic of student loans this morning, Friday, 19 April 2024. I'm Tanis Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle. This is assessing my 5 hypothetical scenarios of my paying off my student loans on 4 criteria. So these are the ones that I've covered in videos previously, and I'll link to my Navigating My Student Loans playlist, and that contains the 5 videos and 5 scenarios. I'll cover them a little bit again. And so I'm going to assess them with 4 different criteria: work, routine tasks, resiliency of scenario to major external events, amount of income from each employer, dependency on employer for work-related technology. Yes, and so these are the scenarios I've elaborated on this channel before this video was filmed on Friday, 19 April 2024, and there's a fair amount, so I'm going to just kind of jump right in. So the up first is routine work tasks. So the job title: endurance specialist, work type contract permanent. I've said previously, and it hasn't changed, I would love to get 10 plus years with an employer. Work years consecutive. Okay, making that so permanent. If we can for this stuff. So, but this is the hypothetical scenario. So first one, nutrition/diet of employer. So that would include everyday and non-routine diets, including competitions. All right, so this is, I'm contributing and they get to decide how much I contribute. They're my employer. 2, performance contextualizations and preparations for employer, including practices and competitions. So that could include paperwork, press releases, right? Me looking at the questions in advance and if they want to talk through things, me watching training, me watching competition and providing feedback. Also in training, such as a legacy set. So there might be ways where they draw on my running history. So could be something like a 2-mile run set where I help them and we run together and we bring the mile average from 9 minutes down to 8 minutes and 11 seconds per mile. And this would be really good for any of the people I've named as potential employers and thinking through as times improve on. So their 2-mile run is a actual competed event. So in terms of speeding up in a event where there is a world record, how does it feel? Right. How does the feeling of the event and the understanding of the time, and so those averages change as the time is sped up, and thinking about that for one's own performances, right, to assess one's legacy. So it would be a Tanis legacy, like the Tanis set for assessing their legacy kind of thing. 3, administering medical/health and wellness examinations as applicable. So this includes including measurements such as body weight and body fat. 4, in-person aid at competitions such as logistics, roommate, donut carrier, massages. It's not tenderize the meaty man thighs. Okay. 5, potentially transferable experiential learning, such as attending competitions, rehabilitation of employer-like figures. Highest level gold standard for me to attain in this, if we wanted to go that way, would be being a referee for an entire Hungarian football match. Okay, so per capita, I would guess Roland Salai and Adampedia would have the biggest workload. So like as a per employer, I would guess they would have the largest workload, which is something to keep in mind with contract work. Okay, so criteria number 2, resiliency of scenario to major external events. 1, a pandemic. So the most resilient I decided was scenario 5, which is the 19,500 per year, which is built-in resiliency for administrative pause on interest accruing. 2, war. So it says scenario 2, $46,000 per year. No heritage travel trip series in spare time. So that would mean it would have to be scenario 1 or 2. right? Because if it's a war, there might not be travel. Emphasis on self-defense foundation for everyday settings. So $78,000 per year, scenario 1 was the one with fencing as a focus, and then $46,000 a year was boxing. So I chose scenario 2, boxing over fencing, because that'd be a great skill to have during a war. Like in person, just walking down the street, I might not have my sword, but I might have my hands, kind of thing. So boxing also might rhyme in writing about my boxing with how I write about my running. Also not aiming to get myself enlisted in the war, which could be a concern with scenario 1 and developing fencing expertise, right? So I might not want to learn fencing during a war because they might be like, hey, you can wield a sword. Maybe you can wield a gun. And no, let's just work on my hands, okay? So, so then external event number 3, economic crash. So I'm going to go with scenario 1, $78,000 per year, up to 4 employers, matters if means to pay is impacted. Okay, by an economic crash. Scenario, okay, so event 4, not 5. Man-made disasters such as a nuclear accident / radiation. So scenario 3, $39,000 per year. Have even been through something like this with falling ceiling tiles at an office I worked at with about the same income. Risk / occupational hazards assessments and changes to operations take time / work. Yes. Okay. External event 5. Natural disasters such as a multi-year sustained drought. I said scenario 4, $26,000 per year. Hunker down and get work done. Heritage travel trip series may provide distance / relief from natural disaster and its impacts. Early escapism. Okay. Number 6. Prison. External imposition on me and or my employers. So I said scenario 2, $46,000 per year, because the employers in that scenario, employers in team sports / dynamics, Hungarian football. So we might learn stuff from prison, be it me or them and or them, each one of them or both of them in prison. We could learn a lot that might translate to the field. Is a Hungarian language. Yeah. Okay. External event 7, rehabilitation. So this is external imposition on me and or my employers. So I chose who's going to rehab. Leon Marchand for $26,000 per year. This is scenario 2. Okay. Leon Marchand, $26,000 per year. Apple fritter recipe fever. So we just focus on apple fritters for a while. Okay. And then number 8, locked up in a mental institution. External imposition on me and or my employers. I said scenario 3. $39,000 per year. Employer most like me in terms of mannerisms and appearances at some point in time. So essentially, we want me employed in Hungary or France. That's the takeaway from all of those. Essentially, we want me employed in Hungary or France. Okay, well, and or. No, we can do and or. Okay. 3rd criteria, amount of income from each employer. So here we go. This is ordering 1. Scenario 1, $78,000 per year. Noah Lyles, $40,000. Salon Star County, $20,000. Ilya Karoon, $18,000. Jacob Ingebrigtsen, $0. Potential of up to $40,000. Okay, scenario 2, $46,000 per year. Attila Salai, $38,000. And Roland Salai, $8,000. Okay, scenario 3, $39,000 per year. Hubert Coast, $39,000. Scenario 4, $26,000. Oh, so I said that wrong in the last one. It was not scenario 2 with Leon Marchand in rehab. It was scenario 4. Okay, as a solution. Okay, so scenario 4, $26,000 per year. Leon Marchand, $26,000. Scenario 5, $19,500 per year. Says Adam Peaty, $19,500. Okay, so there we go. Now we're going to reorder it by amount from each employer. So from top to bottom. Numero 1, Sugar Daddy, but not sugar daddy because it's a potential employer. Okay. $40,000 per year from Noah Lyles. Number 2, $39,000 per year from Hubert Coase. Number 3, $38,000 per year from Attila Szilai. Number 4, $26,000 per year from Léon Marchand. Number 5, $20,000 per year from Solon Sarkane. Number 6, I didn't actually number this, so I hope I'm getting the counting right. $19,500 per year from Adam Peaty. Number 7, $18,000 per year from Ilya Karun. Number 8, $8,000 per year from Roland Zalai. And number 9, 0, but up to a potential of up to $40,000 per year from Jacob Ingebrigtsen. Okay, that's the takeaway, is that ordering. Because the next one. Okay, so criteria 4. Dependency on employer for work-related technology. 1, increases per my income decreasing, increases in severity about $40,000 per year threshold, and most severe at sub $20,000 per year threshold. So if I get $40,000 per year and I can buy my own technology and stuff and use it at work, that might be okay. But if I'm making less than $20,000 per year, I might have difficulty affording technology for myself, right? So then I become more reliant on my work, the technology that my employers may provide me. And then number 2, it increases, so dependency on employer for work-related technology, increases with monetary payment from an employer decreasing. So again, keeping in mind my soulmates in my personal life could also play a role here. So remembering me living with my soulmate and or soulmates and me being dependent on them for kind of everything, except for this stuff. Like, they can also help out with technology, but there's a little bit of a balance here of, you know, if I get $8,000 from one employer versus $40,000 from a different employer, the person who pays me $8,000 per year might have, if we think of everybody gives me a net $100,000 or something in some form, be it salary or something else, then you could think of there's room for, at the bottom, if they all have the same amount, so to speak, to dedicate to me as their employee, then there's the potential for more work-related technology with the lower income. So there we go. That's kind of how I'm doing it. And then conclusion, what's my pick? My pick, I actually choose, instead of a choose one, I did a choose 2. 2 scenarios I chose as my pick. Inspired by my international travel and needing multiple payment methods. Yes, so I've experienced sometimes when I'm out traveling internationally, having 2 bank accounts has actually been necessary. So thinking about that for payment, especially if I'm traveling and going to competitions in different countries, right? That might be, and I have like an employer credit card, so to speak, like who do I pay? Right? It might be good to have more than one employer, right? Depending like which one does the hours go to is the competition for both employers, kind of thing. So the scenario, so employer, so my pick scenario, the first scenario I choose, employer is Adam Peaty, job location France. And then the second scenario pick is employers, Attila Szilai and Roland Szilai, job location Hungary. So there we go. That's assessing my 5 hypothetical scenarios of my paying off my student loans for criteria. I'm Tanis Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle. It'd be very, very cool if my picks came true. And, or at least one of these scenarios, or a combination. So there we go. Happy Friday, 19 April 2024, as a film like this.